Locust plagues in East Africa, they're still ongoing, and they're sending us a message, and that message is not at all good news. This is by Science Alert, Carly Casella. The coronavirus is not the only thing plaguing East Africa. Amid a global pandemic, people in this region of the world are also contending with another extremely serious threat to their lives and livelihoods, the locusts. We know that these swarms are going through Pakistan and even into the southwestern parts of China. Now, this thing here in East Africa, after one of the wettest years on record, we even have floods and record rains in China. One of the biggest, the biggest water reservoir, the biggest dam in the world is about to break because of the rains. Now, the wettest years on record in Africa, these voracious insects have been gathering forces since 2019, as weather conditions allow them to breed generation upon generation. Swarming in the trillions, they're destroying precious pastures and crops in what's considered the worst regional locust plague in decades, from Kenya through Ethiopia and Yemen. Meaning Ethiopia is just south of Egypt. Ethiopia and Yemen is reaching as far as parts of northern India. While many are justifiably worried about famine and economic fallout of these swarms, entomologist Dino Martin sees them as a more existential warning from nature. He says, as terrifying and as dramatic as they are, there is a deeper message, and the message is that we are changing the environment. Martin works in the Pala Research Center in northern Kenya, and he says there is no question about it. Local environmental degradation, overgrazing, deforestation, and the expansion of deserts are creating ideal conditions for more and more locusts to breed. The first major swarms emerged late last year after unusually warm and wet weather, and they numbered into the hundreds of billions. Come April, the next generation hit the skies, this time in the trillions. The third generation expected to take off this July in even larger numbers. He says when you're in a swarm, especially if it's just as they're getting moving, it's actually quite an incredible experience, Martin told the Harvard Gazette. He says, you see, they change color when they're young. They're more pinkish, and then as they mature, they become yellow. So when they are flying around you at that stage, you have all these pink and yellow wings whirling around you, and a slightly nutty smell of the locusts around you, and lots of birds feeding on them. Today, these insects are commonly controlled with pesticides sprayed from helicopters overhead, but that route obviously comes with consequences to human health and the health of our environment. Climate change, after all, is altering our weather patterns and bringing more rain to this part of the world, which will only see locusts thrive even more. Rick Overson, who works at Arizona State University's Global Locust Initiative, told NPR recently that he thinks our current solutions are too small in scope. In the end, he says, they will only tire us out. Overson said it's hard to maintain funding and political will and knowledge and capacity building when you have these unpredictable boom and bust cycles that could play out over years or decades. The drama and spectacle of the outbreak right now is important to cover, but the more nuanced narrative involves a slow, ratchet method of building infrastructure. If you wait until it's reactive and forget about it until it happens again, we're going to be in this situation forever. So far, over 500,000 hectares of land in this region of the world have been treated with pesticide, and according to the Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO, that has saved enough crops to cover basic cereal requirements for nearly 8 million people. But treating huge swaths of land with pesticides is terrible for biodiversity. Even if you don't care a thing for locusts, there are clearly other animals to consider. As farmers grow desperate to preserve their crops, more of them are indiscriminately spraying pesticides. Bill Hansen, chemical ecologist for the Max Planck Institute in Germany, said he's worried that we will kill other critical insects, such as the bees, in the process of using these pesticides. As heavy rains continue to undermine the efforts to control the locusts, the Director General of FAO, Q Guanggu, recently asked for time and cooperation. He says, our gains have been significant, but the battle is long and is spreading to new areas, Q said. It's clear that we cannot declare victory yet. Upsurgers of this magnitude are rarely defeated in a few months. In combination with COVID-19, Q warned that there could be catastrophic consequences on local livelihoods and food security. Half a world away, Argentina is battling another separate locust swarm of huge proportions and is threatening to spill over to Paraguay, Uruguay, and Brazil. Experts suspect this event might also be linked to climate change. So if from this aspect, 2020 is not looking good. This is on Science Alert by Carly Casella. If you'd like to join me on my Patreon account, you will hear content not covered by mainstream media. These riveting stories will be based on my research, and I will state my opinions and give my personal insight on diverse and controversial subjects and world events not covered by mainstream media, and not supported by YouTube guidelines. So whatever I have on my Patreon, most of those will not be on my YouTube channel. Please consider becoming a member today. More of the most significant and important videos will be on my Patreon channel. Your support helps me to continue my research and keeps this YouTube channel alive. And we depend on your support, your generous charity, because we help economically challenged families here in Athens, Greece, in Kapota, and we also help the young generation with university tuition and the community around our church. Thank you.